Okay, so we're here in the rock cycle. I want you to take out that handout that I gave you in class. It should be in the handout section of your 3-ring binder if you brought it home. And what I want you to do is I want you to find the ovals in that handout. You're going to want to label them right now. Magma, igneous rock, sediment, sedimentary rock, and metamorphic rock. What we're going to achieve to do in just a minute is talk about how all of those ovals relate to a process called the rock cycle. Now the rock cycle, as you can see, could start anywhere. A cycle could start anywhere on here. What we're going to do is we're going to start with magma. And up on top you can see the magma in the oval here. And what happens is when magma, to become an igneous rock, you know that magma, in order to do that, has to go through some cooling and crystallizing. Cooling and crystallization is the way we get igneous rock formed. Igneous rock is super important. It forms when this magma cools at different rates. Cooling, then, is everything to an igneous rock formation. When it cools slowly, the crystals are big, and the rock is going to be intrusive. Could be mafic or felsic, but it's going to be intrusive, and it's going to have large crystals forming. If it cools quickly or very fast, it's going to be glassy. If it cools a little bit slower than that, but on the surface, it's going to have fine-grained crystals. So igneous rocks are formed when magma cools. How do you get sediment from igneous rock? Well, what you have to do is you have to undergo a process of weathering, erosion, and deposition. Weathering is when wind, water, and ice go ahead and tear that rock, in this case an igneous rock, apart. And once you have those little particles, then those particles have to be moved. And when they are moved, they are eroded. So transportation of sediment is going to, or of those materials, is going to be important. Now, as you move those sediments, or you're going to get sediment made, and this is where once you have sediment and it's moving, and it deposits, then it's going to undergo some compaction or cementation. So eventually, what's going to happen is when you compact it and cement it, it's going to form your sedimentary rock. So the 4 key things there, the erosion, deposition, compaction, and cementation of sediments produces our sedimentary rock. Sedimentary rocks then, to become metamorphic rocks, have to undergo that intense heat and pressure. It's going to actually cause recrystallization. And you remember from lab that sedimentary rock, such as sandstone, which has a lot of quartz in it, when you apply heat and pressure and it becomes a metamorphic rock, it's going to form something like quartzite. Also, sedimentary rock like limestone, when you squeeze and press and heat and pressurize that, it's going to become things like marble. How do you get metamorphic rocks to become magma again? Well, easy. You have to melt them. And sometimes deep down inside the earth, you can see the melting that's going to actually take any of the rocks and form magma. Well, you can see this wonderful cycle on the outside and how it works. What about all these boxes on the inside? Let's investigate. The first thing that's going to happen is, how could igneous rock then become magma? Same way that metamorphic rocks did. It's going to undergo melting to form magma. How can igneous rocks become metamorphic? They're going to undergo heat and pressure and form that. So I hope what you're doing in your worksheet right now is adding these boxes and filling these boxes in with the information that's going to help you see how interrelated this rock cycle is. Next one. Well, how do metamorphic rocks become sedimentary rocks? They have to undergo weathering, erosion, and deposition to first form sediments, and then those sediments can be compacted and cemented to be forming sedimentary rocks. So there's that weathering, that erosion and deposition from any metamorphic rock to form sediment to get it to become eventually a sedimentary rock. Finally, how do you get sedimentary rocks? They can also weather and erode to form more sediment and become sedimentary rocks again. And finally, one of the things that sedimentary rocks can do, just like igneous and metamorphic, is they can melt and form magma. So that's going to be the conclusion of this slide. And I hope you got the rock cycle down in your handout. I'm going to be looking to check that for homework tomorrow.